Hello comrades and welcome to Men of War Assault Squad 2 Born in the Fire America mod, or BITFA as it's referred to by myself and some others. It's a pretty awesome mod. It's been a while since its last update. I think almost 6 months. Actually no, I think it had a more recent update than that, but the last video that I did was 6 months ago. And that's when they added the Afghans, the Brits of 1880, and they were getting ready to release the Zulu update, which they did, and it looked pretty awesome. I played a bit of it. The Zulus are really cool, and the way they got melee working for them is pretty nice. The only problem is it's Men of War AI, so it's kind of hard to get the AI to be aggressive with like melee fighting. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see. Also, I guess a quick side note, there is a add-on or submod for this mod, and it is by Lopez, and it is the 1600s submod, and it adds a lot of stuff. It's really cool. He basically uses assets from the Corsair's Magic Storm mod, which died way back in 2015. I think it got added to the workshop in like 2016, but then it was just kind of added, and that was it. But if you haven't seen his work, I'll also put a link to his Discord. He also has a channel, I believe. Yeah, I think I'm remembering that correctly. At the very least, I've seen someone do YouTube for his stuff, if that's not himself. But either way, I'll put that in the description there for you guys to check out, because it's a really nice submod for this mod. But yeah, so the mod got an update, and it added a bunch of new factions, which is pretty awesome, because when I saw the Zulu update, I asked, will we ever see any new factions, or any new yeah, just like any new factions in general, or any new single player stuff, you know, not just the Brits, because as much as I love the Brits, I don't know, getting an Afghan update for them and then getting a Zulu update, and kind of seemed like they were only being focused on that, which is kind of sad. But anyway, the mod developer said that they would consider working on some more factions, but the way he said it kind of made it seem like it was doubtful. But obviously, as you can see, they did it. I think it's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9 new factions. Technically, there's more, but their uniforms aren't different. They just have different names, and I'll explain that more in a second. But here we have Austria of 1870, which is Austro-Hungary. Which Austro-Hungary, if you didn't know, I think it formed in 1867 or somewhere around there. So it's pretty cool to see, because most of the time when we see Austro-Hungary or have it referenced, it's always World War I. So to see it kind of in this century and era is pretty cool. The uniforms look really nice. There's also some really cool features that this mod has created that I will show at the end. Kind of continue that Austrian style of gray uniforms. Much like with the Germans, you know, that field gray became very popular. Well, that's kind of the whole of the faction. Pretty nice. Here we have, if you couldn't recognize, Bavaria. Very beautiful looking. I've always liked these guys' helmets. I don't know how effective they would have actually been. I'm pretty sure they were the same as the pith. Probably not at all protective, but very cool style either way. And as you can see here, the new idle animation, there's 2 of them. There's the way he's holding it right here with the both hands, and then there's the kind of relaxed, tossed over the shoulder. And what's really nice is that these are the 2 animations they switch between. So instead of just kind of going to that vanilla, holding it down at the waist, it's pretty cool to see. Because most mods, even when they add new idle animations, they usually kind of resort to the vanilla one for most of it, and the kind of unique one they add in is kind of rare, but it's pretty nice to see. Great uniforms. I know they're not a very well liked faction in Germany, or province, or whatever they consider them in modern day Germany. Here we have France, 1870, or I think it was been referred to as the Third Republic of France, or the French Republic. Something like that. Or maybe Napoleon III. Maybe that's what I'm getting confused with. Either way, really nice. There are two new French factions. There's the French 1870 and there's French Republic, but their uniforms are exactly the same. So I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning for that was. Maybe the weapons? I don't know. Also, look at this bayonet. It's just massive. It's like it's like a small sword. There's a very cool mod for Mountain Blade Warband called Blood and Iron, and I remember really liking the French Republic guys. I don't know why, but this particular era of uniform for them was just really nice. It was on point, as it were. Very cool. Here we have the Northern German Confederation. It's just listed as Germany 1870, but pretty damn awesome. Again, that really big bayonet style. That's quite the style this time, I'm sure. There's actually several different infantry types. There is the Bavarian, there's Wal, which is W-A-L. I don't know what province or Grand Duchy in Germany that would have been at the time, but there's also Baden, which is in southern Germany. Very nice. I don't think I pronounced that correctly, Baden. Maybe it's Baden. Anyway, and you got this nice blue marine uniform. Kind of stands out from the usual gray and black attire. Also the green, very nice. I think, oh gosh, I can't remember where the green comes from. Another province, another notable province in Saxony, there we go. And these are the Saxon Troops. I think Saxon Infantry and Saxon Grenadier. I can't remember. Oops, sorry for the sniffle there. Also something to note is this militia uniform. As you can tell by the cap style, you can recognize that from World War I. But also the kind of transition colors. You go from this dark blue, light blue to the, I don't know, like bluish gray, predominantly gray style that you eventually see completely in World War I. So again, kind of cool to see that transition period. So one of the other factions is Prussia 1870, but their uniform style is the exact same. So, which kind of makes sense because I guess the Northern German Confederation would have technically been under Prussian rule or something like that. I don't know the history too well, but I guess it would have slowly transitioned from Prussia into Germany. Or maybe there was just an outright revolt of some kind. I don't remember. Here we have another new faction, one for the 1700s. 1770, I think, to be specific, or 1706 or something like that. We have Poland, Lithuania, if you couldn't already recognize. At first, they kind of look almost boring, like they're just a copy off of the British. I think the red was popular because it was like a very cheap dye, a very common dye to use, and so it's just easier to do. Also, it was harder to count. It wasn't to hide blood, but marching all in a big red line. It was apparently hard to count out individuals in that line, so kind of a red blob factor. And we got the sapper, we got the officer, we got the infantry, we got lights. I can't remember exactly what this one is called, but it's pretty cool. Almost similar to that Zaporizhian Ukrainian Cossack style, which they would have definitely fought for the Polish at the time. I think like a large chunk of western Ukraine was under Polish occupation at that time. And this interesting frontiersman, I think is what it's called. Very nice. Also like the militia. A big handlebar-like mustache thing. Very cool. So that is Poland, Lithuania. I think that's the only faction to be added for the 1770s or whatever. Or 1716 or whatever. Very nice faction. Very unique. Here we have one for 1812. It is Portugal. Pretty nice to see these guys added in. I was kind of worried that they would have been ignored, but they weren't. They eventually got their due and added in. I think they were part of, I think it was like a Portuguese regiment for France 1812, and that was kind of the only mention they had for a while. But now they're a complete faction. Very nice. an interesting little bow or something on top of their hat there. The infantry, you got your lights, your grenadiers, your guards. I think this is the brown uniformed guys, the cazador or Kaz. It's definitely a skirmish unit of some kind. I remember they were very cheesy in Napoleon Total War. You could put them in a special deployment zone outside of your initial deployment zone, so you could have them spawn either behind or like right in front of your enemy's deployment zone. So I always liked using them. It was a fun cheese unit. Here we have another faction that is quite nice to see. We have Romania. I don't remember the specifics, but I'm pretty sure they fought with the Russians against the I guess like I think like against the Turks in one of the Russo-Turk wars. Very cool. I remember finding a song with some really cool footage from some Romanian film about that war, and the uniform style I really liked. It was very interesting. Romania is one of those countries that, I don't know, it seems to be very overlooked due to just how small it is. But they have a very, very cool history. Also like the uniform style, the hat there. Very nice. At the officer and all that. Very cool to see in this period. They are also in the interwar mod, as you might remember. So yeah, very nice looking. Here we have the Russian Empire of 1880. Very cool looking set of flags. You got the different regiment types and all that. You had like several different officers. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 officer types. You got Marines, you got Guards, you got Cossacks, you got just standard. You got very nice looking. I can't remember what the white is. It's like Turk M. So if it's like a Turkish regiment or something, I don't know. The sharpshooter, you got the Marine, a whole host of different infantry regiments. Very beautiful looking. Again, this kind of period of Russia is it's not intentionally ignored, but it's not exactly a very prideful or strong moment for Russia. Same with like 1812, you know, the whole kind of having to burn down Moscow to stop the French. It was kind of embarrassing, so you don't see a whole lot mentioned about that. Which actually there is a movie, I think it came out a year ago, or it was like a trailer a year ago, called Salvation of the Union or something, and it's about the December Revolt. And if you don't know what that is, you should look it up because it's very cool. And it's one of the very few movies, Russian films, that focus on the 1812 era. You know, because it's very cool to see. Napoleonic Wars. The Russians had a very nice style then. But on with the next faction. I think this is the last one. Yep. Here we have the Turks, or the Ottoman Empire. Very nice looking. You know, I don't know what it is, but the fez, it's a really weird looking hat to me, but I don't know, it's kind of grown on me, so it's like an okay looking style now, but I remember before just looking at them thinking, why would they have such a goofy uniform style? Just this square cylinder or this cylinder on your head, you know? I don't know. But it's pretty nice to see. This flag here is Ottoman Egypt, apparently. With the black uniform. Very cool. It's kind of nice to see some work on the Ottomans, because when they were first put in, both for the 1700s, 1800s, they quite literally just looked the same. There was like very little variation in what they looked like, and so it's nice to see this kind of style added in. So I really like that sword. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and then the second little clip you are going to see is going to show You know what? I'm just gonna explain it, just because I know the clip won't actually describe it properly, but there is something that is added in for officers. So you know how you want a proper line battle, but you know, you can never actually get them to do a line? I hope you guys enjoyed that little clip. Like I said, I'd add at the end. Um, you basically place down the officer, and he'll have the light infantry line or square formation, and you place it down. Basically, you're putting down a breastwork or a trench, and you have the soldiers occupy it, and they'll stand there and they'll shoot. What's really cool is that they occupy it like it's a window. So, like when you go into a house, it'll give that little icon, like little window entry icon thing. That's basically what this does. So now you can have soldiers stand and shoot at each other, and they won't immediately crouch or lie down. Now, as you notice, there are some that do crouch. Um, After a certain number of shots, they will eventually start crouching. That's kind of inevitable, but basically what it's supposed to do is just make the soldiers stand and shoot for a little while longer. Um, Using the 1870s is probably not the best option, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, just wanted to quickly show you, this is the submod that I normally use with the I think the thing that I mentioned by Lopez. It's a really cool submod. I think you should check it out. I don't think there's a lot of, or actually any, submods for Born in the Fire. I know there was one, the Grand Rio Grande Republic or something, but that didn't add anything. That was just kind of like it was actually, it did add some flags, but all it did was just re-equip soldiers into custom breeds or something like that. But yeah, this one really cool. Some of the really nice maps. There's also, as you can see, has his videos. Lopez. Actually,
Well,
yeah.
hello everyone.
There's that, and then if you want to, you can just click on the YouTube thing,
It's
and it'll take it directly
Lopez.
to the page so you can subscribe to it. Obviously, again, I'm going to put the link in the channel, so or channel description, so the channel link in the description area so you can see it for yourself. But just wanted to make sure I quickly added that in. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and definitely download and try out Bitfa if you get the chance.